Alrighty, so hello everyone. My name is Bridget. I'm the Assistant Director of International Enrollment here at Niagara University. Welcome to our new student series Welcome Portal webinar. Today we are going to go over all of the next steps for you guys to take in order to become official Purple Eagles, the steps towards that are in the forms that will assist us in creating your schedule for you, and how to register for summer orientation. Joining me today is Val Devine, our expert, who actually created many of these forms herself for all of you. So she's the one to thank for all of the steps to take. Val, if you want to say hi to everyone.
Hi, my name is Valerie and I work in the IT department. I am the Assistant Director of Support and Web Development. And for those in CIS, I also teach some of the classes.
Awesome. And then also joining me today is Maddie, one of our current students, and also Austin, another current student here. And then we wanted to snag someone from our senior class who is sadly leaving us. So we have Grace Hall here who's assisting with students who can't join us. So Grace, if you want to wave and say hi. Grace is here to support you guys if you are having any issues joining the meeting. So today, like I mentioned, we are going to cover basics of our welcome portal. If you do have any questions, I ask you to enter them into the chat box as early as you would like. But Maddie and Austin will be tracking your questions and saving them for the end for us to answer all of them. So try your best to keep them geared towards the welcome portal specifically. A couple housekeeping things. If you could remain muted during the meeting, if you want to show your face. We love seeing smiles. You can feel free to turn on your camera. If not, that's totally fine. And then with that being said, we'll just get started. So step one, before we even get to this Purple Pass step, in order for you to get granted access to the welcome portal, you need to submit your deposit. You can visit next.niagara.edu if you are a domestic student, and we will grant you access to that. Please also note that it takes a day or two for us to process your deposit, so you will be not be granted immediate access to the welcome portal, as we need to officially manually move you to the student label. But if you already are a deposited student, you can activate your Purple Pass and take these next steps. So you can visit mynu.niagara.edu/Purple Pass to enter your username, which is found on your application form, and your birth date that you provided us as well to take you through those next steps. This lets me scroll. Here we are. Okay, so if you forgot your Purple Pass password and you can't remember it for whatever reason, there is a way for you to reset that. You can just click the forgot your password and you'll just enter your student number and your birth date similar to before, and then click submit. And then if there are any issues, you can contact our IT help desk as well, or your admissions counselor. Trying to figure out if I have to scroll through these. Okay, so for the welcome portal, I believe the link to the welcome portal is mynu.niagara.edu/orientation, right, Val? Correct. Okay, so that's it. If you can't find the welcome portal for whatever reason, you can just log into your MyNU, which is mynu.niagara.edu, and search welcome portal or search orientation, and the link will pop up in the search box for you there too. If it is your first time logging into MyNU, you'll complete some forms prior to that, which we'll go through really quickly. And then you'll click register for summer orientation, and it'll take you to this beautiful picture of Monty right here for you as well. You'll log in using your student ID number, similar to creating your Purple Ass, which is your S096, blah, 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 with the password that you created as well. So this is the welcome portal as soon as you enter it. As you can see on the left-hand side, there's a lot of helpful information here for you. And it's also a layout of all the steps that you'll need to take as well. Process in changing your Purple Pass password, some helpful resources for you, which we'll talk through. There is an undergraduate financial aid presentation, things like that, which we'll touch through here as well. Scroll. Okay. So, Val, are you able to let people in who are in the waiting room? Oh, we do have them? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so first step here is FERPA And FERPA pretty much means that you need to grant other people access to your information. So if you want your parent or guardian or a step parent or grandma, grandpa, whoever you have to be able to have access to your grades, your disciplinary records, financial records, things like that, the university needs to have permission to be able to grant those people access. If you do not want to grant them consent, you do not fill them out in this form here. So you'll have person one, those kinds of things, and options for you there. And then you'll see that it has little check boxes here for you to mark off. So you can grant consent or revoke consent for academic records, like I said, financial records, and student affairs, which is usually disciplinary, those kinds of things as well. Val, anything to add? No, very good. Okay, I'm doing my job well. I like to hear that. Okay. And then this is just a quick overview of what FERPA is. So this is what's found at the top. And we do ask, this is a lot of forms for you guys to fill out, and there's a lot of information here that Val has worked incredibly hard to provide all of you to make sure that we're answering all of your questions as you're completing these forms. And there are so many resources in here, so make sure you read everything as you work your way through it. She even has a little PDF here that goes over FERPA regulations and things like that for you too. But basically, FERPA is consent from you to provide your student records, financial records, disciplinary records, those kinds of things to another person. Security question. So if you ever forget your Purple Pass password or things like that, they're going to need an alternate email address. So make sure it's one that you check to provide you with the link to recreate your password. The reason why we need an alternate email address is because your student email is directly connected to your Purple Pass. So if you forget your Purple Pass password, you won't be able to access your student email. So we need an alternate email address for you. So then you'll just choose your security question and answer there. Pretty self-explanatory. And then here's what it looks like when you do reset your password. We kind of dressed this up a little bit more this year. So just be sure to enter your student ID, old password, new password, changing that, those kinds of things too. Okay, so here are all the helpful links that I found on that left-hand side of the Welcome Portal homepage. Everything you could ever have questions about it, it's all right here. This is your go-to spot. So if you have questions about summer orientation, even like items to bring, some next steps, those kinds of things. If you need a campus map, you can download that here. If you want to map out your schedule once you get it after summer orientation, that's great too. Parking rules. So if you want to register for parking, there's the process listed there. ID cards, how to get your ID cards, paying for them, things like that. Dining services. So if you want to click through our meal plans, so there are multiple options for meal plans. You'll have 2 weeks to choose your meal plan once you arrive on campus. So if you kind of want to get a head start looking at that, you can do that too. Some local things in the area. And then some ways to stay connected with us, academic calendar, those kinds of things as well. There's also ways to get involved. So student leadership, esports, all of that stuff. Residence life. So this is going to be a good link for you guys too. If you're planning to live on campus, some IT resources for you, and then student systems. So these are the systems that you will use most often as a student at Niagara University. So your email, web advisor, which is usually like accessing your grades and your student records, things like that. Canvas, which is your digital classroom, which we'll walk through later on. MyNU, accessibility services, and more. This is a recording of our financial aid presentation. So if you want to jump ahead of this summer orientation schedule and you want to view last year's video, that is available there for you as well. Anything that I'm missing, Val, before I move too far forward? Okay, cool. Good to hear. Okay, this is super important. So if you are planning to transfer any credits over, whether it is AP credits, college level examinations, or CLEP credits, IB credits, if you are a new step student, which is our kind of form of high school level collegiate classes here at Niagara University, you already have a transcript with us, so you do not need to submit that. You don't need to worry about reporting those scores or anything like that. We already have record of that. But if you're planning on submitting an AP, a CLEP, or an IB score to us, all of the instructions are in this portion of the link. So if you're not sure how to send them over to us, we do need proof that you completed the course and you have a final grade in that and everything. So this is kind of be your helpful link right there. Anything else to add, Val, in terms of transfer credits? Okay, cool. These are all of your contact people. So admissions, this is the umbrella email for admissions. So if you have questions about the portal or next steps or anything quick for us, you can just email admissions@niagara.edu, and we'll put you in contact with your admissions counselor. If you have very specific questions regarding summer orientation and those kinds of steps, Shira Clemens is your contact. She's our graduate assistant in student affairs. So you can reach out to her at sclemens@niagara.edu. Financial aid office. So if you have questions regarding the status of your scholarship applications, appeals, things like that, this financial aid office is finaid@niagara.edu. And any questions regarding residence life can go to Rosanna, but we call her Mama Ro here at Niagara. So you'll get to know Mama Ro very well. And her email is rmacri@niagara.edu. So those are some really great contact people for you guys moving forward. Here is the exciting part. So if you're ready to, and you have a picture chosen and you want to upload that because you're looking fresh and you don't want to take a crusty photo at summer orientation or move-in day, you can upload your own photo. Just make sure it meets all of those guidelines listed here and that it's a JPEG format. That is the automatic format with your iPhone. So if you're taking a picture with your phone or something like that, just make sure it's good quality, has a plain background, meets these guidelines here, and then you'll be all set to go. But if you're not ready to upload your photo, you don't need to do that immediately. Medical forms. So this is very important. Medical forms are available right now, correct, Val? For access? Okay, so they're not uploaded yet, but you will grant access to them. Will be granted access to them shortly. Another big thing is health insurance. Austin, hey, do you need to opt out of health insurance if you already have it?
Yes, absolutely, because you don't want to pay a lot of money if you already have health insurance.
Yes, we love that. So if you are a U.S. citizen and you already have your own health insurance and you don't want to pay an extra $3,000 in your tuition, be sure to opt out of it. We need you to opt out of health insurance if you already have it. If you are an international student, you will be required to purchase health insurance through us. So we make sure that you're taken care of if you have any issues. To sign up for health insurance, if you are an international student, you will reach out to international@niagara.edu to make sure this is taken care of. I believe Canadian students, you're kind of in the middle of that ground. So I think we're able to accept some forms of health insurance, right, Val?
Yes, Canadians will have a different opt-out, and we will probably set that up sometime in August. So again, once you log into MyNU, if you're a Canadian student, you'll be prompted to fill out an opt-out form and then give us proof that you have enough insurance to attend college in the US.
Perfect. Yeah. So this is really important. This is sometimes that item that's kind of swept under the rug. So if you have health insurance and you don't want to pay more than you need to, be sure that you log in and you opt out of the health insurance already. The deadline for your waiver is September 30th. If you want to write down a date, if you are someone like me who has to set reminders for everything, make sure that I opt out of my health insurance so I don't have to pay more money than I need to. September 30th is that date that you're going to start in your calendar. So take note of that. On-campus housing. So your housing preference form is unlocked. Yay! So this is really exciting. You are able to request roommates through the housing preference portal. Be sure that you and your roommate to be request each other to make sure that that is all set to go. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Residence Life, Mama Ro, and she'll guide you through those next steps. I know sometimes students have issues accessing the housing portal. Especially, it's always my students from India that for whatever reason, they can't access the portal. So if you reach out to your admissions counselor, they'll be able to kind of guide you through those next steps and make those connections with residence life to make sure that you are all set to go and have a place to live if you choose to live on campus. Also listed here is information on our justice houses. This is a living learning community located right on our campus where you'll be required to take some classes. You'll have a peer mentor, those kinds of next steps as well. So there is an application that you are required to fill out if you are interested in the Justice House program. This is what the application kind of looks like. So if you click fill out the application, it'll take you to this portal right here. And then there's the basic information that they'll request of you. They just want a paragraph about what social justice means to you. And it lists the classes that you'll be required to take. You just have to check off that you'll agree to take those classes. And then there's some additional information listed there as well. Anything else to add, Val? Went through that? Okay, cool. Justice Houses is great if you are very into social justice and all that stuff. That's going to be a really great living learning community option for you as well. This is another thing that I think is super, super important. So LTP, this is called the level tuition plan. This means that you are going to lock in your tuition rate for all 4 years guaranteed at Niagara University. The process to do this is located right here in your welcome portal. The typical family listed right here, they usually save about $4,400 US if they choose to lock their tuition rate with the level tuition plan. I 120 out of 10 recommend doing this. If you are not of the age of 18, you will need parental consent as well. And you'll have to print out and have your parents sign something to make sure that you are able to do the level tuition plan. But there's also an important note here. If for whatever reason you need to stay an extra semester or things like that, you will not be locked into that rate. So it's only a 4-year promise for your tuition to be locked. Anything else to add, Val? Cool. Okay, nice and simple. But yes, I 120 out of 10 recommend you guys signing the level tuition plan. If you are of the Catholic faith and you really want to get involved with campus ministry in our masses and things like that, so if you are interested in doing readings or being a Eucharistic minister or in music or anything like that, this is the inquiry form for that. And then you'll get an email from campus ministry and they'll connect with you once you arrive on campus to make sure you're taking these things as well. Okay, so now we're moving a little bit more into the next big steps of the welcome portal. So there's some more information listed here for you. Housing preference form, medical information, photo ID card. This is kind of like your follow-up checklist. Your major verification form, which I'll touch on in a second. And then some additional forms for academics and aid. Okay, so this is kind of phase 2 we're entering. And even Belle, our rock star, even has a checklist for you. So if you are missing any forms or anything like that, it'll be listed right at the top of your to-do list. Okay. So this is your emergency contact information. So if you were to have any emergencies or things like that, if you're a student who lives maybe more than 2 hours, if Niagara University is more than 2 hours from home, and you have a contact out here, I would do someone from home and someone a little bit closer to Niagara University just to be safe if anything were to happen to you. This is a missing contact information. So if you were to go missing, just someone for us to reach out to. This is preferred, I would say, a US number. So if you're an international student, you have family out here or things like that, just to make it us easier to connect with them. And you have family in the United States, I would suggest listing them here for you. Canada, we're able to call just because the country code is the same. So that's noted there. We get a lot of snow days at Niagara University. We love our snow days. And if you want to know that you're having a snow day, definitely sign up for alerts. So my absolute personal hero, Thomas Burns, will send you an email if we're having a snow day, maybe 2 or 3. So be sure to fill out your cell phone number here to get notified of that. You'll get a beautiful call from him and a text from him, and you'll also get one sent to your alternate email address. So you will know for sure if classes are canceled. This also applies for not just snow days, but also campus emergencies or anything like that too. So you can be sure to fill that out right there. This is also super important. This is verifying your major. So if for whatever reason you changed your mind and you applied for, let's say like biology, and then you're like, I want to do math instead, you can select your major right here. If you are changing your major, I just recommend you reach out to your admissions counselor so that way they can be aware and you can be receiving the correct communications for those next steps as well. Anything else to add there, Val? Super simple.
Just for the minor forms, sometimes the summer orientation portal versus what you have in MyNU may different. So if you did submit your major change, it will be what you submitted for summer orientation, but it might not be reflected in MyNU until the first day of classes.
Good to know. So don't panic. If you know that you processed everything correctly, and you connected with admissions and you changed your major right here, then you should be all good to go. Just also note it does take a few days for everything to be processed. And then this is just gathering information if you're a first generation college student. So if you don't have a parent or guardian, whoever's looking after you, if neither of them or none of them attended university, then you are considered a first generation college student. Some clarification points I made there for you as well. So be sure to read everything before you complete it. Okay, this is when it starts to get really exciting. This is the form that I get a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts about. Hey, Austin, question. Are we completing our schedules right now?
No, we will complete our schedules at summer orientation.
When will we get our schedules?
At summer orientation.
Are we making our schedule right now?
No.
Okay, so this is just making suggestions. Here's what I'm interested in. So that's all this form is, to make sure that Niagara University is signing you up for classes that you're actually interested in, instead of signing you up for women's studies when you really wanted to take bio 101 this semester or something like that. So this is kind of the first phase right here. So the basic information portion right here is automatically filtered, so you won't be able to make edits there. Your intent and major, this will not update if you requested the major change, correct, Val? So if you just change your major like 2 seconds ago in that form prior, it's gonna say the same thing, but also note that if you completed that and you reached out to admissions, we will be sure to make that update for you. So don't panic if it doesn't automatically change, because it won't. It'll take a few days. Do the following majors. Okay. Do you have any career goals? Pre-law, pre-professional. We have a lot of pre-professional programs here. So be sure to list any that you're interested in. If you're interested in the health side of pre-professional programs, pre-med, pre-pharmacy, pre-ortho, pre-vet, be sure to list that there. Pre-law advisement, check yes or no. If you're trying to do like a 3+3 program, just indicate that there. I know we have some 3+3 programs with like law school and all that stuff as well. So just be sure to indicate if you're interested in doing any of those unique programs. Have you completed military basic training, or are you a vet or a beneficiary of a GI Bill? If you don't know what that is, your answer is probably no. If you're planning on doing ROTC program, you can select yes or no there. If you're interested in taking French or Spanish, you can indicate that there. There is a proficiency test. So if you're hoping to skip those interest in intro levels, there's information here for you, correct? Okay. Anything else to add, Val, before I move down?
Yeah, if you are interested in Spanish or French, I would suggest, taking the exam closer to now than later, just so by the time summer orientation occurs, we are able to put you in one of those classes, and that we also put you in the right level class.
Perfect. And also, you're probably taking a Spanish or a French class right now, and it's all fresh in your mind. We don't want that summer rot to kind of fade away. So if you've taken those higher level classes and you want credit for that, and you want to kind of skip those intro level classes, definitely think about taking the proficiency tests earlier on. This, I believe, is just for arts and sciences, correct? Okay, so this is just some basic information. What subject you like best in high school, what you liked least, just so they can kind of, again, build your schedule to meet your interests, what's important to you, what you're looking for in a workplace, things like that. So feel free to take the time and go through those steps as well. Okay, so again, if you are planning on transferring credits, this form right here only informs us that you're planning on transferring credits. This doesn't officially transfer your credits over, right, Val? Correct. Okay, because we will need transcripts from your IB, your CLEP, your AP, those kinds of things officially. But this only informs them that, okay, we can try and avoid those classes until we have those official transcripts sent over. So all the information is here. You can review what scores. And again, another link on how to submit your transcripts to NU. In order to move forward with your welcome portal, you need to click submit before you go on to the next page, or your information will be lost. So if you do need additional information, all of these tabs will be opened in a new tab, so you won't lose anything. And then I'm trying to think of what else. Be sure to mark any classes that you've taken, and then you can submit them there for you. This is kind of a view for the different types of credits that you can mark. So if you took a college level course, maybe at like Hilbert or something like that, you can see that you can kind of just mark the letter grade that you got there. If you're transferring IB, you just click review only. And then CLEP classes, kind of marking that as well. Anything else to add now? Okay, cool. You're obviously, if you're taking the AP courses, just indicate which AP exam you took. And then this is another, hey, Austin, are you making your schedule right now?
No.
When do you get your schedules?
Summer orientation.
Summer orientation. So you are not creating your schedule right now. I'm going to say it a million times. Don't panic. This is just dropping hints, dropping seeds as to what classes you are interested in taking. There's also a beautiful button here that Val has also given you guys that goes over some information on what the classes are. So if you kind of want to read a course description, sometimes the title is really cool, but once you figure out what the class is, it's not anything that you had expected. So I definitely recommend hitting that button and learning more. But these are all of the general education courses that all students are required to take. And then listed in the dropdown are the classes that qualify under these labels. So you'll have your first choice of analytical skills and then your backup choice. First choice for your diversity class and then your backup choice, same as it all goes down. So you are not creating your schedule right now. You're just letting us know what you are interested in taking. And then this is the email that you get to take the proficiency test. So take the placement test before summer orientation if you are able to, just because all of the content will be a lot more fresh in your brain. You'll be more prepared for that test as well. And then it'll allow us to create a schedule for you that is a better fit for you, and a reflection of all the hard work that you've already put into that language as well. Anything else to add, Bill?
Just to explain what is in the drop-down boxes, they are all considered freshman-friendly classes. So these are usually the classes that freshmen take. So if you do go to our site and you see a lot more classes listed, that's because we have, over the years, they're just not for freshmen. So we decide which ones, are best fitted. So if you kind of compare. And that's why we also bring over the course description so you could read through them. And I recommend reading through them all to help you decide and also help us to kind of find classes that are similar to what the ones you select in the dropdown.
Yeah, so if you're a student who, I know that I want to study this thing, but I also have interest in, the marketing side of things or something like that, and you want to take an entry level, communications class or something like that, you can do that and let us know that you're interested in that as well. So kind of have fun with it. Take as much time as you want. But like I said, this is not an end all be all creating your schedule. Everything's locked in stone. This is just exploring your options and exposing yourself to your opportunities here.
And I also suggest select different options. Don't select the same ones because some of the courses do overlap and are different designations. So make sure to select a variety of classes. That way you can determine more of your interests than, stuck with one option.
That is a really good tip. So if there's a class you really want to take, don't put it as both your first choice and your second choice. We want to make sure that we're giving you as many options as possible and making a schedule that not only fits what you want to take, but also the timing of everything. So that won't conflict maybe with practice or even the classes themselves. So in order to assist our university in making sure we're making a schedule that is the best fit for you to give to you on the first day of summer orientation, the second day of summer orientation, make sure that you give us a variety of courses and try not to repeat the options on here as well. So this is the email that you'll get to take your proficiency placement test for Spanish or French. Again, this is what the course descriptions look like. See, they're nice and short. So if you're interested in kind of getting introduced to all of the options available to you here, that's going to be found right here. This is for our academic exploration students, correct? Sorry, I can't see at the top of my screen. This is AEP only form. You'll kind of identify what you kind of label yourself as. You have several ideas, you're completely undecided, or if you're kind of tossing between two majors, you can mark that. Very similar to the arts and sciences form, what you like the most, what you like the least, what's your strongest asset, and core values, what you're most interested in, what you're looking for in the workplace. And then if you have majors that you want to 100% for sure test first, you can put a first preference and a second preference, but you will need to indicate a major that you're interested in testing in order to move forward. Anything else to add here, Val?
For the AEP students, to help us create your schedule, we go based off of your first major preference. So if there is a major that you would like to choose over 2 and 3, make sure you put it as your first preference. So that way, if it is a major that you would like to stick with, that you at least have 1 or 2 of the classes that you'll be able to take in the first semester.
Perfect. So in other words, you are ranking your options. So this is my first choice, this is my second choice, this is my third choice. So be sure if you're interested in testing different majors through AEP. If you're not in AEP, you won't have this form. But if you are interested in testing different majors through AEP, be sure to rank the level of courses or programs that you want to test. So your first, it's obviously your first, and then there's some additional, so volunteer experience, those kinds of things. And then if you want any additional information about buying textbooks, participating in class, tutoring, blah, 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 you can check off some additional information found there as well. And then always click submit before you move on to the next form, or else you'll lose your progress. Always click submit. Home stretch. So this is kind of part 3. Woohoo! So we are registering for summer orientation, which is the best time of year. You'll put all of your information is listed here. Student cell phone, selecting your t-shirt size. This is your destiny here at Niagara. We are big on the free t-shirts. So lock in your t-shirt size. Right here, Grace is like, oh my goodness, she's going to have a whole quilt made, I'm guessing. Yep, she's got a quilt. I got a quilt. So many people have a quilt of all the t-shirts that you get here at NU. So be sure to lock in your t-shirt size. If you have any dietary, because we're going to feed you during your time at summer orientation. So if you have dietary restrictions or anything like that, whether it's religious or allergies, be sure to list that there. We have 3 options for summer orientation for you. Prioritize session 1 or 2 because we do have a cap of 100 students for session 3, correct, Val?
Yeah, it's definitely lower than the other 2.
Okay, yes. So we have, session 1 is July 11th through 12th, and then is it overnight? Session 2 is July 14th through 15th. That's also an overnight. So there'll be some late night programming available to you guys to kind of be introduced to what we like to do at Niagara University. Bingo may or may not be involved. We're huge on that here. Again, our recent graduate grace is like, it's a big deal here. So for session 1 and 2, if you're planning on bringing a guest, so students typically do bring family members, either it's one parent, 2 parents, a sibling, whoever you want to bring. It is a family affair. The more the merrier. There is a fee associated with that. So just be sure to indicate all the information that you want to put on your lovely name tag for when you arrive. So we can use your first name when we talk to you and be warm and welcoming, all that stuff. So be sure to fill out all of the information listed here and then click submit to move forward. All the information will be confirmed here. And this is locking you in for which summer orientation session you want to focus on and attend. And then you'll get another confirmation and you'll have to click continue to move forward with the payment page if you have a guest. So click continue there. It'll take you to this payment. I recognize this so much so because this is what it'll look like if you want to do any off-campus events at Niagara University, those kinds of things. So this is how we process all of our card payments here. So you'll enter your information. Yep, and then payment needed for summer orientation. So be sure to click that link. And then, I don't know why it's not going, but be sure to fill out that form and then you'll be all set to go. All right, so that's pretty much everything. I'm sure we do have some questions. So Maddie, if you want to take it away for Q&A.
Yes, okay. Starting with the health forms portion, we have a couple questions. Is the medical form available right now? And when can students opt out of health insurance?
So yes, it's not available now. That's why we usually give you through like September 30th, because it usually doesn't become live until August for you to opt out. So don't freak out that you haven't seen it or are able to lock out now, but you will starting sometime in August and then through September.
And then if they've already uploaded health forms, do they have to redo it after that becomes live?
No, once you upload it into our Medicat system, the information will always be there.
All right, a couple summer orientation questions. Do you have to do the academic information form before registering for SUMO? Because that was blocking.
Yes. Yep, so you need to complete all the given forms because we will be providing you with your schedule at summer orientation, as Austin has so greatly reminded us. So make sure you complete all the forms in order to complete the next step because it doesn't allow you to move forward to that step unless everything is completed prior.
If you've already signed up for SUMO, can you change the day you want to go?
Val?
Yes, you can. You just have to contact Shira and let her know that you would like to switch, and she'll be able to switch it for you. You cannot switch it on your own.
Perfect.
If you go back into the welcome port, if you click on the helpful contacts, you click on that and her information will be listed.
Yes, helpful contacts will be your saving grace if you have any questions. I also saw a question real quick if you can add guests. So that would be another question for Shira. So you reach out to her in the helpful contacts section and let her know that you want to add another registration.
And then how much is the guest fee for SUMO?
For the overnights, it's $65. And then on session 3,
it's $45.
Okay. Next is residence life. So how do you request a specific roommate?
That will be located directly in the Adirondack Solutions application through Residence Life. So there'll be a section in there where you can enter a roommate request and a bunch of names will drop down and then you'll be able to select a name to room. Just be sure that both roommates request each other because there have been times where it's like one request the other and then you have this awkward moment don't get paired together. So just be sure that it's communicated that both of you are requesting each other.
And then another res life, do we have to set up a roommate profile or just the questionnaire?
You just have to complete the housing preference form. You don't have to do anything else.
Perfect.
All right. Arts and sciences. There was a question how to access the arts and sciences form that you showed.
You would have completed it. It would have been underneath the academic form. It would have been tied right in. It wouldn't have been a separate page. So if you completed the academic form, you completed the College of Arts and Sciences additional questions.
Awesome. And then, oh, I do just want to shout out for taking languages at Niagara. So that form that they showed for taking a pretest for Spanish and French, you don't have to have previous knowledge if you want to start taking a language in college. That's just if you have, they would place you maybe at a higher level to begin, but you can start fresh in a number of languages in college.
Still click yes on that question. And then if you go into the proficiency test, it will ask if you've ever taken the language. So then it would just put you in like French 101.
Very cool.
And I know we had a question that I just saw pop up in the chat, if asking if the student has to pay to attend summer orientation. No. So only the guests have to pay. That is our celebration of you becoming a Purple Eagle. So the student does not have to pay a fee to attend summer orientation.
How do I change my Purple Pass password?
Val, do you want to mention that one more time?
Yeah, so if you go to either mynU.niagara.edu or if you do the mynU.niagara.edu/orientation.php, you will see one of the links there that says forgot password. So as long as you submitted to us an extra email address with an actual answer to your security question, you'll be able to reset it that way. If it doesn't work, you can always call our IT help desk, and it's 286-8040, and someone will be able to help you reset your password.
There's a link also right here. If you go to the welcome portal, sign in, forgot your password, you can click that and it'll take you to reset it.
How do I access the roommate form?
That is directly in your welcome portal, I believe. And I know that Residence Life is contacting you guys via your student email address. So if you are a deposited student and you have your Purple Pass activated and everything like that, Residence Life is reaching out to you using your student email, which is either your S096 or your first initial and then your last name, sometimes a number, at mail.niagara.edu. And they have those links in their reminder emails for you as well. Val?
If we are registered for housing, once you log into the welcome portal, there will be a link on the side that says housing. You click on that and it will be able to link you to what our housing application is, the application called Adirondack. So you use your Purple Pass information to log into it.
If you want to change your housing status, you can reach out to your admissions counselor and they'll make that update for you as well.
All right, so this recording will be available to watch back. You guys will get a link to that. We do have a couple questions of seeing slides again from the presentation.
Sure, yeah, we can kind of scroll through if we need to.
It's the AP classes slide.
So let's see if I'll continue, I won't bring it down, I'll continue sharing my screen. I believe from my understanding, it is probably the one with the drop down in the list of classes. So that would be, let's keep going. So this is the AP classes. So you would select AP and then you would select the class that you're interested in and then the score that you have officially received, or if you don't have your score, you would select pending.
And then the checklist slide from the beginning.
Yep, so that is the full list of all of the steps that you would need to take. So this is the checklist right here for you. Any other questions?
And for you to see your own checklist, again, if you log into the welcome portal and click on that big purple button that's in the middle, if you click on it, you'll be able to see your to-do list, and anything that you have completed will have the purple check. If it's not, it'll be grayed out.
It'll be right there. You can't avoid it.
All right, that looks like everything.
Everything? Do we have any other questions for the chat box? I know we have a couple minutes left. If you're feeling comfy, feel free to hop off. We'll be here for another couple of minutes. Thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your admissions counselor or contact us at admissions@niagara.edu. Thank you guys so much.